In the United States. Certainly, we may think back affectionately now at autos like the Spider, Milano, and Giulia. However, those models never had the effect of their German or British opponents. Moderate deals and the notoriety for poor dependability slaughtered Alfa in the US over 2 decades prior. The automaker is back with autos like the Porsche, Giulia and, most essential, the 2018 Stelvio Hybrid. The Stelvio needs to offer well if Alfa has any expectation of remaining alive in America. Without a doubt, it may not be as sharp or as good-looking as the Giulia, yet the market requests its hybrid. So's what it'll get. The Stelvio is hopping into an intense and profoundly challenged section. Opponents like the Porsche Macan, Jaguar F-Pace, BMW X3 and Mercedes-Benz GLC-Class are for the most part solid contenders with nice-looking styling and energetic driving flow. The Stelvio will need to truly sparkle to make an imprint. Relay editor Joe Stock Stale, the Alfa Romeo Stelvio feels especially like a greater, taller Giulia. While this means it feels somewhat less deft and spirited, it likewise implies that it's outstanding amongst other drivers in its class. In the engine is the same turbocharged 2.0-liter 4-chamber making 280 torque. It feels perfectly for this hybrid. It's upbeat to sit at low RPM on the interstate, yet additionally conveys lively speeding up while tromping on the gas. It even sounds great, giving a growly snorty sound while quickening. It's similar to a grown-up condition of the motor in the Fiat 500R. Ride and taking care are very much adjusted, as well. Directing is speedy, and the entire vehicle feels amazingly light. It inclines essentially more than the Giulia in turns. Be that as it may, as hybrids go, the Stelvio is an awesome handler. The ride is on the solid side, yet a long way from rebuffing. I do wish the directing was somewhat heavier, and that the weight developed all the more continuously. It feels somewhat less open than I'd inclined toward. The Giulia Association proceeds inside, yet this time we wish they weren't so comparative. In spite of the fact that the dashboard is an appealing shape, there are many low-leaf plastics strewn about. Some of the handles feel chintzy, as well. There's not a considerable measure of knee room in advance, either, and the seat could utilize a couple of greater alteration choices. One thing the Stelvio's inside nails, however, are those brilliant move paddles. They're immense section-mounted units that are anything but difficult to discover, paying little respect to your hand position. They have a stealth activity, and they're produced using strong metal that feels extraordinary. No doubt about it, the Stelvio is basically a major Giulia. That is great and awful, yet in the event that you need a down-to-earth hybrid that isn't dead inside, the cooperative attitude exceeds the terrible. Relay editor recount, this is it. This is make it or break it for Alfa. On the off chance that it can't pitch a hybrid to a fire-based frothing at the mouth for high-riding hatches, at that point nothing can spare the organization. The fixings are all there, good-looking plan, elite identification and lively flow. The truth will surface eventually if clients can look past Alfa's not as much as stellar notoriety and pick the Stelvio over something like the Macan or F-Pace. That is the issue with the Stelvio. The opposition is all extremely solid. There's not really a rotten one among the bundle, making the activity much harder for Alfa. All things considered, initial introductions are solid. The minute you start up the sweet minimal 4-pot with the directing wheel mounted start, you get the feeling this is something other than what's expected. Like Joel stated, this feels like a major Giulia, regardless. The inside is straightforward and clean, however loaded with various modest materials. All things considered, I like the controlling handle mounted force. It's not all terrible news. The Stelvio's guiding is to a great degree brisk. 11.8 to 1, as per Alfa. That is fundamentally faster than the 14.3 to 1 proportion of the Porsche Macan, however the last has better feel. Little contributions to the somewhat overboosted Stelvio controlling influence the hybrid to feel light and flexibility. It shrouds its weight well and feels really made for a hybrid. Superior to the standard Mercedes-Benz GLC and Jaguar F-Pace. The motor is a genuine peach. It's smooth and solid and doesn't battle to move the 2-ton Stelvio. the greatest issue I have with the execution is the brakes. Almost every time I went into a corner a little pot I needed to apply significantly more weight than I anticipated. C-Sync separations aren't awful, however the pedal stroke's totally dead fast. It's a touch of vexing. I like the Stelvio. I think I like it more than the F-Pace, however I take the Porsche Macan over both. In any case, I think it merits an opportunity to excel. For Alfa's purpose, I trust it does.